nothing left to defend. And that means we have only one option. Attack. Gears, what I ask of you now is...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gears Feed. Today I'm going to discuss the idea and possibility of a Gears 2 remaster occurring somewhere along the timeline between now and the release of Gears 5. Content creator S-Raw composed a tweet last week declaring his love for Gears 2 and how he'd loved for a Gears 2 remaster to be released by the Coalition. This tweet certainly gained some traction, and thus the idea of a Gears 2 remaster quickly spread throughout the community. Let me add in a disclaimer here before I dive into why I think this will not happen. I would love for this to happen, I honestly would, it'd be great. Gears 2 had some of the strongest campaign and arguably the best maps. Unfortunately, that's about it. So to begin with, when Octus was asked about the possibility of a Gears 2 remaster at a recent charity event, his words were, "I will not speculate on future projects, but one thing I will say is that Gears Ultimate Edition was a stepping stone for the Coalition. It was made to help the team gauge the basic ideas of creating a Gears title to familiarise themselves with this series, and it was a fantastic idea to do that." Now, that statement within itself confirms for me that a Gears 2 remaster isn't happening. The fact that he elaborated on why the remaster was made in the first place, to apply some justification for it, and why Gears UE was a unique case, for me that just completely voids Gears 2. And next we have the issue of team delegation. Do you sacrifice a large portion of your team that are clearly working on Gears 5 to a Gears 2 remaster? Do you delay the progress of what you're building with Gears 5 even further at this stage? Probably not. TC have probably been given a 2 to 3 year window by Microsoft to get Gears 5 done, and I see no way they'd shift focus onto yet another remaster. It would be a detriment to the progression of Gears 5, which leads me to another point. There is a lot that TC had envisioned for Gears 4 but didn't make the cut, because they simply didn't have time. The tick rate of the servers maybe, the fact they wanted to have more of a level progression system, as opposed to unlocking cosmetics purely through an RNG system. There was a lot that TC didn't have time for. The game didn't even launch with pre-game lobbies, and let's face it, the DLC model has only produced 4 new maps so far. I'm guessing the workload to create 24 maps, a Gears 4 title, on top of a remaster over their 3-year tenure was just simply too much, right? Then we have the fact that Gears 2 was a mess. A sheer and utter online disaster. Lag switching, host advantage, smoke grenades throwing people across the bloody room, title update after title update breaking the game in its own individual way. It's as if each title update asked the other one to hold my beer. It was awful. Ugh. It was shambolic. Cliffy B even said himself it's his biggest career regret, the launch and online experience that shipped with that game. It's safe to say that it's best that we leave Gears 2 where it is, back in 2008. However, you could argue that a modern Gears 2 wouldn't have these problems. Fair point. But with TC stating that a lot of maps from Gears 2 simply don't work with Gears 4, I'm guessing they can't reskin Gears 4's gameplay with the Gears 2 campaign and Gears 2 maps. No. So you'd have to have a rather slow and clunky Gears 2 hitting the market, so it would work online with the maps, as well as having an active esports scene with Gears 4. Why draw attention away from Gears 4 and the thriving esports scene that TC are building with a remaster? It just doesn't make sense. The only positive that Gears 2 has going for it is that stellar campaign that Epic produced. It had everything. Emotion, the surprises, the sheer mystery that it captivated was incredible. If the campaign alone was remastered, I'd honestly be all for it, but if you're thinking multiplayer, I honestly wish you all the best. Oh, and they've already had to heavily modify security, avalanche, blood drive, so why not bring the rest of the maps along and work tirelessly to somehow make them work with the pace and speed of Gears 4? Surely that's a better idea than building a whole new title. I don't know, maybe it's me, but the whole idea of a Gears 2 remaster just doesn't make sense to me. It just lacks logic. I can't see it happening. Surely the focus for the Coalition is 100% on Gears 5 and their next step in their universe. Why keep going back with what Epic did? Surely they want to create their own identity now and move forward with that. Thank you for watching Gears Feed. What do you think about a possible Gears 2 remaster? Slate me in the comments below. I hope I'll see you next time.